So I've had intelligent membranes, Big Dog Blue, for a little while. You can tell by the dust on top of the can. Thank you again, Adam, for that. But I haven't had a project that was right for it. There was a little hiccup getting the CCMC standards met. Not that it didn't meet it, it just, you know, somebody had to stamp something. But the product is now 100% approved for use in Canada, which is really nice because it's got some features that work very well in some situations. So today, finally, I'm going to get to use some Passive Purple. Now, this is their spray or roll-on. It also comes in brush-on. I did want to spray this on. It was part of the plan. That's not quite working out, so we're gonna get the roller out. I believe that this could be a great time saver for many applications if you had a sprayer or if you had someone capable of spraying it. But we're gonna test drive it with a roller and see what that's like. And hopefully in the near future, or hopefully before this project's done, a sprayer will show up and we'll be able to complete some of the details. Got our blower door set up today. We're gonna do a quick air tightness test. We already know that we're quite good, but we were able to take care of a few defects. There's a few things that we can't take care of, and I'll show you that as we get going here. But we're gonna take this up to 50 pascals. And essentially, a blower door running at 50 pascals is the equivalent of a 20-mile-per-hour wind on a house. And funny enough, where we live, our average wind speed is actually 13 or 20 kilometers an hour. So I'm gonna bring the fan up. Gonna start pressurizing the house. We're gonna start pushing air in here. I'm gonna hit cruise at 50. It's a great feature that TEC has, Minneapolis blower door. It's gonna slow down, average right around 50 pascals. So that's going to maintain 50 pascals. If we have a gust of wind or anything like that, it's just going to kind of ramp the fan up or ramp the fan down. This is something we couldn't do anything about. When this door came, the jamb was damaged, and unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it. We just have essentially a piece of backer rod shoved in between this pane and the sliding door. So we have some air leakage there. We know we have some air leakage. There's very little we can do about that, short of covering this entire door with poly and taping it off. Doesn't really make sense to do that. So just got some backer rod. We've got another point over here. We've got, this is where our range hood goes out. Because this is a sloped lot, nobody's had a chance yet to just get up there and put a cap on that pipe, tape it off. So right now, that's a 6-inch pipe with 2 layers of rock wool shoved in it. And we know we've got a little bit of air leakage there, but we're still below passive house in our air tightness. So I suspect as we continue, we finished the last few details of penetrations to the house. We get our drywall on. When we do our final blower door test, we're hopefully going to be a little better than 0.3. But even if we, you know, miss something else or whatever, and we go back up to like 0.4, again, we're still below passive levels of air tightness, and that's a win. Whenever possible, we like to load our drywall into a project on a Friday. That way it has Saturday and Sunday to essentially dry out. Locally, drywall is never stored in a conditioned space. Quite often it is in a warehouse that's not heated, has no climate control. So if the relative humidity outdoors is 70%, this board is taking on some of that moisture. It's pulling some of that moisture out of the air, or it's, you know, essentially storing. Gypsum is vapor open. It has the ability to hang on to moisture and let it go depending on, you know, the relative humidity of the air around it. We don't have a large commercial dehumidifier, but we will use 2, 3, 4 of these little portable dehumidifiers to help reduce the moisture content. Another little tip is when we're loading our drywall in, we always try and load it in white side out. So when you come to this stack, it's ready to go. You're dealing with the finished surface. You can mark, cut on the finished surface. There's no wasted time, so to speak, flipping the drywall. You're already handling the sheets, you're already loading it in. It works well for us. I know it doesn't work for everybody in everybody's market. Some people live in a place where you can call a company and they literally lug it and place it throughout the house or the building for you. We don't have that service available to us locally. As you can see, we've got the drywall spread out throughout the house in reasonable amounts. Again, this is all white side out, ready to go. We don't want to overload any one spot to stress our floor system if we don't have to. Sometimes you get caught and you just have to put stuff where it makes sense. We've got our green board, some people call it the blue board, but this is mold resistant board. Again, it's all finished side out. Not everybody does this, but I like to use it in areas that possibly could get wet. So bathrooms, especially on the ceiling in the vicinity of a shower, behind toilets, behind vanities, anything where, you know, water might get there. It just makes sense. It's a couple extra dollars a sheet, but having done a lot of renovation work in the past, I won't say that this board can't get moldy, because it can if it's thoroughly abused, but it stands up so much better than the regular drywall. Collated screw guns, they've been around for a while now, but it wasn't all that long ago these guys were actually a luxury item. You know, a new builder starting out, or a new carpenter starting out, probably couldn't get into one of these. I believe the first ones I saw were Senko Duraspin. They were pretty much a dedicated collated drywall gun, and I wanted one for a while, but it was a while before I was able to afford one. Now I do have, you know, a couple of dedicated screw guns. I've had a few different versions along the way, but this is one of those items now that I would not wait. If this broke right now, I would literally get in my truck and I would go get another one, some form of collated guns. We don't do drywall consistently enough to be fast with a conventional drywall gun. We still use them. They're still very important. We're not as quick as a dedicated board crew. Just, you know, same as somebody who's a dedicated roofer. You can't compete with that speed and efficiency because they do it all the time. So we look for little things like collated guns to help bring us up. Now, I know there's going to be some people who are going to say, oh, you shouldn't have to put those marks where the screw goes. And you know what? You're right. If you're doing drywall all the time, you shouldn't need that. But Tegan is still learning, and having these marks here go a long way for him to actually hit the marks consistently. The other thing is, you know, for the extra little bit of time that it takes me to throw these on there, if I'm cutting and feeding, usually I have a spare second or two anyways, so it's really not wasting time. It would be filling the gaps where I'd be pausing anyways. in Canada, we use a lot of metal boxes still. There is plastic boxes available in some locations, but a lot of times they're special order. And when we can't get them in a timely fashion, we revert to a metal box. But if we set our zip correctly, our drywall cutout tool, it literally just penetrates enough that the bearing catches on that, and then it'll come down around. There is care required, and you do have to be careful that your measurements are correct and you're on point.